Hello everyone.
Hey guys.
Welcome back to the channel. As Ray Stevens would say, it's me again, Margaret. So we are back today, still old school, with me here at the craft table, Sadie behind the camera, producing and co-hosting and answering all of your questions in the chats. We are so glad to have everybody here with us today. Today we are going to be making this adorable Dollar Tree centerpiece.
It is so beautiful.
Like, this is definitely not something that I would have ever expected could have come from Dollar, like the pieces could have come from Dollar Tree. Now, let me be clear. The greenery did not come from Dollar Tree. So, this greenery specifically did not come from Dollar Tree, but I was in Dollar Tree. I feel like I've been in Dollar Tree so much the last little bit. And they do have some greenery that you can choose from. We were just going for not as, you know, sometimes like fir greenery or like evergreen type greenery can be very bright green.
That is so true.
So this is more of a muted green. So listen, this is a great project to use scrap pieces of greenery and don't feel like you have to go out and buy a bunch of new stuff. You can see here, we're using scrap pieces. Like, these are just gonna be scrap pieces that we're gonna be gluing and putting on today. So just know that there is so much that you can and will learn from this today, whether it be, you know, how to arrange your greenery, cutting different materials. Now, let's go overhead. This specific project, and can we just take a minute to look at the front of this, how beautiful this is? I feel like I have a mess on the table.
Pretty. It looks so high-end. You would never imagine it was Dollar Tree.
No, not at all. But this is just like that peel and stick wallpaper that you can get at Dollar Tree. And y'all, we're gonna teach you how to get this rustic look using print and cut features. Like, you all are going to love this. But this specific one, let's turn it around back. Now, if you wanted to make two pieces and sandwich them together so you hide this, you can do this. You can see we just left this open. These are actually made out of chipboard. But today we're gonna be making this out of craft board so that our Explore users can make this as well. So if you do have a maker, I highly suggest using your maker and cutting chipboard with this, because the chipboard really does make it very sturdy. However, like I said, we're gonna be using craft board today, and I'm gonna show you how you can do it with craft board so that our Explorer friends can do this as well. Because I wanna make sure we don't leave anybody out. Everybody wants to do this because it is super, super cute.
It's adorable.
So let's go over the materials that we are going to need today. It looks like there is a ton of stuff on the table, but I'm just gonna be honest, y'all. I'm a hot mess express today. Beep, beep, I'm driving the hot mess bus. So it has just been one of those days where I have been 10,000 places at one point. So it looks like a mess, but I promise you it's not. And the supplies, there's a good chance that you might already have a bunch of this stuff. So just be aware. Yes, well, there's not, so Kim said a maker 2 will cut chipboard. First of all, there's not a maker 2. It goes from and let me turn this around so you all can see the front. If we're gonna go, let's go to camera 1. So it's not a maker 2. It goes from the original maker to the maker 3. There is not a maker 2, but all makers have the capability to use adaptive tools, and you can use the knife blade to cut chipboard, okay? So other than how it cuts and price point, how does a Glowforge compare to a maker? Robin, hold that question to the end of the show and I will address that. Kathy said, how much would you sell something like that for? With the greenery involved, because I don't know if you all know, but like, good greenery is expensive.
It's so expensive.
Like, I don't understand, like, if you're using like high quality greenery, and the reason I say this is because I have been in the process of making 32 centerpieces for a something that I'm helping decorate for this weekend. One centerpiece alone, just greenery, and I feel like I don't use a ton of greenery, but one centerpiece alone, $20 worth of greenery.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, it's insane. That's not including the floral foam or anything else. So it really depends on what type of greenery you use for this. If you're gonna use a more high-end greenery, I don't know, if I were selling this, I don't know, $15, $20.
I think that's a good price.
I think it's
a lot of it's from the Dollar Tree.
Yes, so your base is going to be from the Dollar Tree. The skewers that you use are Dollar Tree. The peel and stick wallpaper is Dollar Tree, and you can also get this floral foam from Dollar Tree, which I'm going to show you. Like, we cut this in half and set them side by side for this. So your supplies, you're still gonna have a little bit in your supplies, but you know, $15, $20 I think is reasonable. So yeah. Anyway, back overhead, let's talk about the supplies that we're gonna be using today. So we are gonna be using the Starcraft chalk and mineral paint in linen white. Y'all, this is one of our favorites. As you can see, we've almost used all of it. Like, I'm really hoping, yeah, we've got enough for today, and then other than that, this is gonna have to be thrown away and we're gonna have to order more. So we are using the Starcraft chalk and mineral paint. We're gonna use that to paint over this self-adhesive wall tile that you can get from Dollar Tree. Love this. Don't love the color, but I love the pattern and the texture that this gives this project. So that's why we are going to be painting over this. So we are live, just in case anybody was wondering. Today we're going to be using the Cricut craft board. Now, once again, this is for if you have an Explorer, you can do this with an Explorer series machine. Now, just know that the craft board is a little bit more flimsy. So if you do use craft board, let's say, and you decide you want to sell this, obviously you're gonna be closer to the $15, if not, you know, a little less than that, because it is a little bit more flimsy. If you're using chipboard, you all know chipboard is more expensive. So just keep that in mind, but we are gonna be using craft board today so that our Explorer friends can do this as well. Like I said, if you have a maker, I suggest you doing chipboard and making this with chipboard. So all you're gonna do, switch out the materials. The next thing we are going to be doing today, we're gonna have is our sticker paper. Now this is for the front of the stars, and this technique that we're gonna be doing, I really think you all are gonna love this. So we are gonna be using at least one piece of sticker paper. Like we said yesterday, our favorite sticker paper is the Zakoto vinyl matte sticker paper. It's just chef's kiss. We do have a little bit of like terracotta copper color paint. This is just in case you want to paint the edges of the stars. Specifically, if you're using chipboard, I really don't think we're gonna need to paint the edges of the stars, because with the craft board, I don't think it's gonna have that much of an edge, but if you are using chipboard, you may want to paint the edges of your stars. So that's why we have this here, okay? Next, we do have skewers. These came from the Dollar Tree. We're just gonna use these to attach our Christmas trees. And then we have some floral foam. Now, the base. I carried the base out. Sadie, if you will run out to my table and grab, there is a piece of wood should be on my craft table.
Like the bottom of that.
Yeah, but it is not stained.
Okay, gotcha.
So just grab that.
Overhead?
Yeah, go overhead.
Perfect.
The other thing that obviously you're gonna need is going to be paint brushes. This is just because we're gonna be painting our trees. You do need some type of greenery, whatever you find that suits you. And then you are going to need a mat. Now for this mat, I would suggest either a strong grip mat or a new standard grip mat. Currently our strong grip mats, the ones we ordered, because we did order new ones, they're not long enough and our machine doesn't recognize them. So I'm gonna be using this new standard grip mat for today. And then if you are using chipboard, you are also going to need some masking tape. Now, if you don't have a strong grip mat, you don't have to go out and buy one. You can actually use chipboard on a standard grip mat. Just tape it down. That's all you have to do. Tape it down. Okay?
Tape will be your best friend.
Tape really is your best friend, especially if you are working with materials. I have found thicker materials need lots of tape, and then especially if you're using glitter HTV.
Oh, for sure.
You know how it stays rolled up and it's like you try to lay it down and it just rolls back up?
Yes.
I mean, it's one of those materials that you have to have tape for. So, with all of that being said, oh, I didn't talk about our base. Let's talk about it. So this is just a standard piece of wood plank that you can actually get from Dollar Tree. And I'm gonna show you, let's go ahead and go to our share screen. And I want to go to the Dollar Tree website because this is something that I think a lot of us don't know. But did you know that sometimes you can, in years past, you have not been able to order from the Dollar Tree website because you have to order in like such large quantities. But did you know that there are certain things on their website that you can order in small quantities?
Seriously?
Yes, and you have to keep
goodness.
an eye out for it because I truly think that a lot of times during the holiday season, they lower their quantities of ordering. That way people are making crafts, especially using their products. And I feel like a lot of times they will do smaller quantities of stuff, especially during the holiday season. So starting around this time, I want to go to the Dollar Tree. Why is it not working?
Please and thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Is there internet? Are we still?
We're still live.
Okay.
Good.
Just making sure nobody had commented and I can't get to the Dollar Tree website. So I just wanted to double check and make sure.
The devil is playing with the church's money.
That's right. Let's try it
We
again.
don't have time for this.
See if we could just go to dollartree.com. Well, it doesn't make any sense that the new tab can come up, but then when I'm trying to go anywhere else, let's go to our website, see if our website will load. Maybe it's just Dollar Tree.
Come on, Dollar Tree. Get it
The site
together.
can't be reached. Oh, wait. Both of them. Well, maybe we won't
mystery.
check out the Dollar Tree website. But anyway, this did come from Dollar Tree, and actually this was one of those that we ordered online. If you go to the craft section, there's like a wooden craft section on their website if you can get it to load. I think this one is one you can order in smaller quantities. You still have to order like 3 or 4, I think, but at $1.25, like you're gonna use these for so many different things.
For sure. I didn't even know the Dollar Tree had wood like that, so that's so cool.
Well, so what happened is we found it one time and then we couldn't find it again, but I found it online and ordered like 10 pieces online.
Yes.
Just so it was just easier for us to use for different projects anyway.
Yes.
Well, that's not working. So we'll just go ahead and go to Design Space and we're gonna start the process of creating our trees and creating our little centerpieces. So you can see here, we just have, these are triangle trees. The file that we actually use is going to be on our website called Trees 2. So let's go ahead and hop over to our website. We're gonna go to not fonts, we're gonna go to cut files. I automatically went to fonts. And then if you just type in trees-2, it should pop up. Maybe not dash, maybe just 2. We will figure it out. This one, beautiful. So to download a file from the Makers Gonna Learn website, you're gonna click the arrow pointing down. It is going to download You're gonna double click, which unzips your folder, and then double click again to make sure that it gets unzipped. And then before we load this into Design Space, I'm gonna go back to the website, and the next file that we're gonna use from the website is this Rusty file. It's like a background file, and we're going to be slicing stars out of this to give us this rustic look, which I am obsessed with. So once again, you're gonna click that arrow pointing down, you're gonna double click that folder. This is a PNG because it is a background, it's not an SVG, so you shouldn't have to click it again to unzip it. So what I'm going to do now is back to Design Space. We're gonna go to Upload, we're gonna upload image, and then I'm just gonna drag and drop. Let's open up the trees. I want the SVG of the trees. So let's pull this down and drag and drop this guy here in Design Space. It is a cut image, and we're going to select Upload. And then before we go back, we're gonna upload another image. We're gonna browse back to our Finder. We're gonna go back, cancel, and then I want this rusty metal background PNG. And we always love to upload PNG files as complex. That just gives us the most details possible. We're gonna click continue, apply and continue, and obviously this is a print and cut image. We don't just want the square. And then we're gonna upload that into Design Space. So now we're gonna select both of these and add them both to Canvas. So here you can see we have our rusty background, and I'll scooch it over here. The trees are, if you search on our website, trees 2. Trees 2. And I'm actually going to make this larger. So here you can really pick and choose which type and style of tree that you want. If you want the taller, skinny one, or if you want whatever, first thing you're gonna do is decide which style do I want. Do I want them just straight-sided triangles, or do I want them like actual Christmas trees? One thing I do want to make sure that you all think about though is, like, if you are doing these like jagged edge Christmas trees, we're not actually going to be using the Cricut to cut the tiles, like the what are they called again? Oh, the wall tiles. We're not going to be using the Cricut to cut those. We're actually going to be cutting those ourselves with either a true control knife or some scissors. So just be aware that it might be a little bit harder for you if you choose one with like more detail on it, okay? So, which actually I personally love the straight-sided Christmas trees. I think they are beautiful, especially with this project, but part of me also wants to try like some of these smaller ones, like making them larger and just seeing how well it does and how it looks with that style. Idea. Okay.
That'd be so cool.
So you know what? We may throw 2 big triangle ones in there, and the one in the middle do the ones on the sides.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to try.
It doesn't, that's right, it doesn't hurt to try. So, first thing we're gonna do is we are going to ungroup these trees, because you can see here, they're all grouped together by color. So we're gonna ungroup these trees. Now they are all separate. So we have the green ones separate from the pink ones, separate from the red ones, okay? First thing I can tell you, I don't think I wanna use any of these green ones. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna click it and I'm gonna delete those out, because I like the shape of this red tree, and I actually like the shape of this pink tree the best. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm going to select the pink, and this is how this is what I want you all to start thinking about when you are designing things, is learning to manipulate files to the way that you want them, because there is really an endless possibility when you start thinking, oh, I can manipulate this and make it what I want, okay? So I'm going to take the pink layer, I'm gonna hit contour. I'm not gonna use the bottom of this tree because once again, we're putting it on those skewers, and I'm not gonna use this tree. So I'm gonna click both of those to contour them both out. And now I'm left with just the pink tree that I want. So now I'm gonna go and do the same thing with this red layer. I'm gonna click contour, and I'm gonna contour out both this bottom piece and this tree as well. And now I am just left with the triangle piece. So now is the time that you need to think about how big you want your trees. So you can make these as large or as small as you want. You can also unlock these trees and you can make them wider, you can make them skinnier. It's really up to you what you want to do with these. And that's the beauty of this project, is you can literally make it whatever you want. So the trees that we have on the centerpiece right now, let's look at these. I feel like, once again, I feel like I have a mess, but we're just going to measure these and see how tall these trees are, because you know what? I don't really know. So we're looking at about 7 inches in height, which when we go back to Design Space, we can see that that is about 7.5. Can you cut cardboard with the Explorer 2? Kathy, I've never tried, to be real honest. I mean, honestly, I've never tried. And thinking right off, I don't know. But you know what? Once we get to the make it section, we'll just type in cardboard and see. So we're gonna size this. We're about 7 inches in height here. This one is the one in the back. I wanna make it a little bit bigger. And then I'm gonna send it to back. Send it back behind there, beautiful. And then I'm just gonna duplicate this one and bring it over here. Lovely. So now we kind of have an idea of where our trees will be placed. Now, if you want to, like, I know Alicia had hers sitting a little closer. If you want to know how far apart, or like how wide that is, what you'll do, drag and drop and select all of those, and we know that this is a little bit over 8.5 inches wide, the way we have them placed now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna measure this board. Oh, it's 11 inches, we're fine. We have plenty of room to put that on. Beautiful. So now we have our trees pretty much the way we want them, or at least the size that we want them. We're gonna place them on our board once we get there, but we know what size we want, okay? So our next step is we want to add the stars. So what I'm going to do is you are going to come over here to your shapes. We're just gonna grab our basic star. Now for this one, we're actually using this star, not this one here, just because this is a little bit easier to work with. And really, I kind of like the shape of that. And then we're just going to size them however big or small you want. I think I might leave it that size. I like the size that it came in at 2 inches. I think that's a pretty good size. It might be a little bit big. Let's size it down to about 1.5. Yeah, that might be better. So duplicate that. Yeah, that's it. And then duplicate this again. Lovely. So we have the size that we want of our stars. Now, the next step we are going to do is I'm going to bring all of these stars over here to our rusty background, and I'm going to choose where I want to slice these based on the pattern. So me personally, I love the looks of this over here. Like, this is my favorite portion of this pattern. If you're wanting to go for more of the deep red coppery rust, I would go over here. But there's something about this side that I love, okay? So I'm gonna bring my stars over to this area. Now, if you want all of your stars to look the same, you can just slice one star out and duplicate that one, but I don't want them all to look the same. I want them to be a little bit different. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to select at least the rusty background and one of the stars, because in case you didn't know, excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. In case you didn't know, you cannot slice more than 2 layers at a time. So we have 2 layers selected here, and then we're gonna hit slice. Okay? Looks like we lost 2, but I promise you we didn't, because look, we're just gonna send this backwards. They're still there.
There they are.
So now I'm going to select the second star here. So here on our our layers panel, you can see we have our rusty background and the second star selected. We are gonna click slice. Once again, it looks like we lost it, but we did not. And then I'm going to select the rusty background and the third star. See, still only 2 layers. And then we're gonna slice that one out. Now, what we can do is we can get rid of this. We can get rid of this, this, and this.
Oh, looky there.
And look at that. Now, what we can do is we can send these through, print them with our printer, cut them out, and now we have what looks like a true little rusty tin star without actually having rusty tin.
That is so cute.
How cute. So what I'm gonna do real quick is I'm just going to select all of these. I'm gonna change them all to the same color. And the reason that I'm just gonna change them all to the same color is because I want them all to cut on the same mat, okay? Because we are cutting them out of the craft board. And I'm probably going to duplicate those, and I think I'm gonna cut them twice and sandwich them together just to make them a little bit sturdier. So I'm just going to duplicate that one. That way we have 4 of those, and duplicate that one. That way we get 2 cuts. And I'm gonna hide all of these over here. And actually we don't need that one, or you know what? Yeah, we do. I'm a doofus. I'm such a doofus, y'all. Okay, so I'm gonna duplicate this one, and I'm gonna change it back to a basic cut, because we do still have to, and I'm just gonna delete all of this, because you do have to keep the slice result, okay? So we do have to keep this, and the reason that we have to keep this is because we still need the stars cut out of like the craft board or the chipboard, whichever one we're using, and then we put the sticker on top of that, okay? So I'm just gonna duplicate this 3 times. Once again, I'm gonna change them all to this green color because it does need to be cut on this craft board, the same thing. So we're gonna try to see how many of these we can fit on one piece of craft board, okay? So just as a recap, we have double of the Christmas trees, okay? And we're just gonna cut one of the stars. Now the reason we have double of the Christmas trees, once again, is because for this one today, we are gonna be using craft board. If you are using chipboard, you only have to have one. We are just putting our craft board together to make it a little bit sturdier. Are we all on the same page? Does anyone have any questions? Okay, so once we have done that, we can go to make it. I'm going to then change this to an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. We are going to go to, actually, first thing we're gonna do is we are going to rearrange all of this because y'all, Cricut likes to try their best to not allow us any space on the mat, which I don't appreciate. I think that it wastes a whole bunch of stuff. Look at there. You can fit that star in the corner. I mean, it's close, but you can fit it there. So why not put it there? Okay. So since that's there, let's turn this one upside down. We're gonna move this guy to here. He's gonna go there. He can go way up there. Oh, look at that. How many of us want to take a bet if I can put both of these on this mat? Let's move them both just to, I don't know that I can, but we're gonna try. Okay, so this one's gonna go this way. Can we do it? Can it be done? Hold up, just give me a second.
If there's one thing about Lauren, she will always find a way to be resourceful. with
You
her
better
craft
believe
supplies.
it. You better believe it. Are you kidding me?
Stop it. You did it.
No, I didn't.
Just one star.
One star.
Stop.
One star. Let's move this guy a little bit closer. Move this guy a little bit closer. And move this guy. Oh, come on, Cricut. So now you're telling me that these two are too, now it's not letting me. It was before. I'm gonna get there, y'all. I promise you I'm gonna get there. If I have to zoom in and get these cuts right up next to each other, I will. I did it, I did it, I did it. They are not touching. Nowhere is touching.
That's seriously so impressive. That's crazy.
One piece. We did it. Okay. So now that I'm not touching that, we're just gonna go to continue. It's done. Move this out of the way. Now, one thing you can do, you can cut light chipboard on your Explorer series machine. It just uses the fine point blade, just in case y'all were wondering, light chipboard. And the reason I know that is because when you go to browse all materials and you type in chipboard or just chip, we are using an Explorer and it does come up light chipboard is possible to cut. We don't have any in the office. So that is why we are using the craft board.
Oh yeah, do you want to check and see if they could do cardboard?
Oh yeah, let's do that. So, cardboard. Corrugated cardboard.
Wow.
Flat cardboard. Yes, you can. Just humor me. What? It says fine point blade. I don't know that I wouldn't use a deep cut blade on that, but that's just me. Anyway, we're not using flat cardboard. We're using craft board.
It's possible though. That's crazy.
Yeah. So craft board. Once again, fine point blade for this. And then we are going to send this bad boy through our Cricut.
Robin is asking if we've tried Temu mats.
I don't think we have tried any Temu mats. I don't feel like we have. But just be aware. Just be aware. Let me run out here while this is cutting. I'm gonna run out here and grab this mat real quick because I wanna show you guys something. Okay, so this mat here is a Nicopa mat that we've always used Nicopa. So are we overhead? Mm-hmm. So this is a Nicopa mat, and like I said, we've always used Nicopa mats. But is there something that you see different about this mat? Anyone? Let me just tell you, there is no place to like hang up here, right? Now, first of all, this is a very old, dirty mat, so sorry about that. But the reason I brought this in here is because look, when we line these up, because it doesn't have that on the top, do you see the difference? It's like a 1/4 of an inch, but that 1/4 of an inch makes a difference because the Cricut does not recognize this mat. It says that it is not 12 inches, okay? There's not a whole period. And because of that, like I said, it's about a 1/4 of an inch short, and Cricut doesn't recognize this mat. So they're just sitting out there and really probably are gonna have to be thrown away because look at the difference. This is side by side the difference. It's even a little shorter length, like width-wise. It's wild.
It's crazy how the Cricut could tell that much of a difference.
I know. You would not think that the Cricut would be able to tell that much of a difference, but it does. So anyway, that would be the only thing that I would, oh, no wonder. The purple one is used for silhouette machines because they are shorter. I just now realized that.
Oh my goodness.
So we just either ordered or got shipped the wrong mats. Okay, so that cut very nice. Oh, I like that. But before we take this off the mat, I'm gonna go back to our share screen and we're gonna send this to printer. We are using our 8100 series. Now this is a project that I would add bleed on because I do not want white around these stickers. So I am gonna leave bleed on for this. Always use System Dialog. We're gonna print it. It's gonna pop up back here. Lovely. We are feeding this from the rear tray and then we are selecting best quality. Now give me just a second. Make sure that this printer is on and we have paper in it. Beautiful. She's on, she's lovely. And now we're gonna select print. Beautiful. Now, one thing we talked about yesterday was how Cricut has been cutting through everybody's sticker paper because Cricut came out with their new stuff. So we're gonna try it on this printable sticker paper with the green liner printing. And that was something else we talked about yesterday. If we have friends with us today, I talked about how I was going to show you guys how to make your own settings. And I will do that, I promise. So give me just a second because our printer is being silly again.
It's always being silly.
It says waiting for job to complete. Thank you, Sadie. So were we on one or were we overhead?
We are on, I guess that would be important, wouldn't it? We are on the share screen, but
okay.
We're overhead now.
Let's go overhead. While we're getting that, we're just gonna go ahead and start this process of getting these off the mat. Oh, it worked. Beautiful.
Oh, look how gorgeous.
Beautiful. She's so lovely. She's so lovely. One thing that if you're not doing this, if you're not turning your mats upside down to take stuff off of it, what are you doing? It's my favorite. And I can say that because I used to be that girl that would just pull it right off the mat. Nope. Go with gravity. Let gravity be your friend when it comes to unloading things off of the mat. Beautiful and gorgeous. We love it. Okay, so now we're going to place our stickers onto our mat as well. Gonna make sure those get burnished down really good. Oh, Jennifer said I did some stickers yesterday and got the perfect kiss cut with printable vinyl, white, green liner, less pressure.
Okay.
I love that. So we're gonna do that. Printable sticker paper, white, green liner, less pressure. Beautiful. I love it. And then after that, I will show you guys how to go in and make your own settings because I told you I would yesterday. And we've not done a hack today. So here in just a second, we're gonna do that. But we do have to wait for that to finish cutting before we can. So what we're gonna do now is I'm just going to just kind of line all of these pieces up, make sure they're together, hit play there. We have our stars. Okay, so the next part of this project, I don't need this anymore. Trying to clean up my area so you guys can kind of see a little bit better. So the next part of this project is going to be putting our self-adhesive wall tile onto our cutouts. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get this out of the packaging, and then I am going to, okay, so this has, it says to peel off from this angle. So this has a pretty good, it's very sticky. So one thing I would highly suggest is, because I don't think you're gonna need the whole thing for this project, is don't peel all of this up just yet. And we're just going to lay each individual thing down. So we've got one here. We can do another one here. Maybe I did that wrong. Maybe I should have done it the other way. It's okay. It's not a big deal. We'll do it right here. This one here. And I am gonna leave a little bit of room so that I can cut and then trim that off. And then we'll do the other one. We'll just do it here. It'll be fine. Now, this way you can save this bottom half if you want to. So what I can do is just lay this back down. And then I'm just going to cut this. And that way we are saving the parts here that don't have anything on them so that you can use them for other projects. Because we're crafty people, we don't like to be wasteful, right? So now you still have this much of this wall tile left that you can use on other projects. So we're gonna set that over to the side. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna start trimming up around this. I'm gonna leave this plastic covering on here just because I don't want any sticky, if it's not gonna be sticky, I don't want it on me. So we're just gonna leave that on there and we're just gonna trim this up with scissors.
Donna's asking if it cuts pretty easily.
Oh yeah, it is so easy to cut. I mean, these scissors are nothing special and it is so easy to cut.
That looks so good too.
Oh yeah, I did forget about this, okay? This is one thing that you do have to do. I forgot that this sticky part, it's like 2 layers. Alicia is the one that normally works with this stuff, so give me just a second. Make sure I did this correct. That don't make no sense. You know what, we'll just hot glue that down. It's all good. So, I didn't realize it. I thought that there was 2 sides of sticky on this, but there's not. So this comes off. Love that for us. That comes off, but we're just gonna hot glue it back down. Not a big deal. You know, roll with the punches, guys. Roll with the punches. So I'm just gonna keep cutting this and trimming this off. Does anyone have any questions so far? Donna asked, is it cut pretty easy? We answered that. Yes, it does. I love that it is so easy to cut. Okay, we will paint that, add that to this one. And then I have a feeling that this one is gonna be the fun one, as in the one that might give us some trouble, but maybe not. How many friends do we have with us today?
We've got 168.
Beautiful. I love it. You all are here for the Christmas crafts.
Yes.
Now, one thing I do want to say, if you are new here and you want to recreate this or really anything you see on our channel, we do have a special going on right now where you can join our membership for $1.
$1, you guys.
One doll hair.
Wow.
Uno doll hair. And you get all of the benefits of a regular member for 7 days. Plus you get 20 downloads. So you could use these files to make this. You could make the labels that we made yesterday. Plus, if you join today, you can you can join us tomorrow for our member only masterclass.
Oh my goodness, it's gonna be so good too.
Yeah, so that is, right now would be a great time to sign up for the dollar deal because like I said, you get to join our masterclass tomorrow if you want to. We do our masterclasses on Zoom, so it's more of like a truly like we can see you, you can see us. It's very personable, very one-on-one. So we absolutely love that. So now that we have our trees cut out of our tile, what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna set these guys to the side for just a second. And then I am going to go ahead and grab my paint and my paintbrush. And we're just gonna go ahead and paint these while they're not on anything else. That way that we don't get it on there and it kind of holds up a little bit better. So I'm just gonna dry brush this on. Let me get a paper towel to lay down real quick. Now, someone asked someone asked earlier if I felt like the StarCraft chalk and mineral paint chipped. I have never had issues with this StarCraft paint chipping. It's always been great. I love it. So, I think, and I mean, this specific one has been painted for quite a while and hasn't chipped. So I love that. And I'm just dry brushing this on here right now. It does need to be put on in pretty thin layers, especially on material like this because it is plastic. So dry brush this on in pretty thin layers, let it dry, and then we'll probably come back and add a second coat to this. And you could even take another dry brush with like that rusty color and you can add like antiquing effect to this, which would be beautiful.
That would be so pretty.
We might do that. We might add a little bit of rust to it. We'll see.
Can I just say, when I first saw this project, I legit thought that these little trees were made out of like tin metal, and I took pictures of them and still didn't notice that they weren't like metal. Like they look so high quality.
Really?
Yes.
That's awesome.
They're so good.
You really can, with a little bit of ingenuity and imagination, you can take some things and truly make them look so classy and so high-end.
For sure. For so cheap.
I know.
That's crazy.
Like, you don't have to have a budget for anthropology or rustic restoration hardware or West Elm or any of those nice, like super nice places. You don't have to have that kind of budget. You can have a budget more like mine and still because we're all crafters here, with a little bit of imagination and ingenuity, you can have something that looks so high end.
For sure.
Okay, so we're gonna let those dry for just a second. We'll put them on here and we'll pull them over to the side for just a minute. We're gonna let those dry. Now, while those are drying, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna start the process of assembling our base, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this foam that we got from the Dollar Tree, and I am going to cut it in half. This is probably not the best tool to use to cut it in half, but we are gonna do our very best with what we have.
I feel like we need a giant kitchen knife or something. Just cut right through it.
I know. Y'all don't come for me for this, by the way.
Just close your eyes if you're scared.
Close your eyes. You don't see anything here. These are not fabric scissors. They're really not the best scissors in the world anyway.
This video
Beautiful.
will be available for replay here on the YouTube channel.
Yes, this will be available for replay for you guys. So we're just chopping this in half. It's okay if it's not even, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually glue the bottom halves that are even down so that it looks very nice. And then our greenery is just gonna cover everything, so we're not gonna worry about it. Now, one thing I would suggest for you all to do, I would suggest you stain this first before doing this, but we just don't have time to stain it. Our favorite stain is going to be the Early American Men Wax. I adore that color. I think it is beautiful. But you just pick whatever color stain you want. But like I said, I highly suggest you staining this first. I did not have time. Did not have time to stain it, just to be real honest. So we're just gonna leave it natural wood and it's still gonna be beautiful, okay?
Gorgeous.
So what we're gonna do now is we're just gonna take our Lindley hot glue gun. We're gonna add some hot glue to the bottom of this floral foam here. And we're gonna place it down on our wood. Make sure that gets on there really nice and tight. And then do the same for this side. And boom. Now you are gonna have to apply a little bit of pressure to this so that it does stay down while it dries. What are the best brands of crafting paper scissors? Fiskars. I love Fiskars scissors. A pool noodle knife? What's a pool noodle knife?
I have no clue.
I feel like I need to know. I feel like I need to know. Okay, so now that we have this on there, it is ready for us to add our Christmas trees and add all of our greenery in to cover this up. So I'm gonna test out our trees. They're still a little wet. And this is something that I am almost afraid to put the heat gun to, just because it is plastic. So we're just gonna I think this one is okay down here. So what I'm gonna do now, let's move this out of the way and let's bring these back in. And we're just gonna start assembling these by, I'm gonna add some hot glue here to this tree. And then I'm gonna bring this in and line it up with that. Lay it down. Beautiful. And I'm actually gonna add just a little bit more paint. Now, like I said, this is a project that we want it to look semi-rustic, so you don't need the paint to be covering everything. You just need a good base layer on it. And then, like I said, after this layer is dried, we might come back and do like an antique finish on it. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm actually going to sandwich our skewers in between these two pieces of craft paper. So I'm gonna grab my skewer, I'm gonna add it here. Let's see. Let's do this first. I want to add the skewer here. I'm gonna lay it down like after I touch the paint. Okay. And then here in just a second, I'm gonna let that dry a little bit more and then I'm gonna add the back of that. So we're just gonna keep assembling all of our trees. Once again, hot glue. I feel like this is taking me back to like truly old school crafting, because I feel like anytime I used to craft, like especially as a child, I used nothing but, hot glue was the only thing I used. I just used hot glue. And I loved it. I love crafting with hot glue for some reason. So before I paint the front of that one, so I don't get any more paint on my fingers, I'm gonna go ahead and turn this one over. Add some hot glue there. Add our skewer here. And then I'm gonna flip it over and I'm gonna add a little bit more paint to this one as well. And then once that dries some more, we'll add the back of it. And then we're just gonna repeat the process with our middle tree. Does anyone have any questions? Has anyone asked any questions, Sadie?
Not really. They mentioned that pool noodle knife. It's a plastic knife and they got it from the craft section at Dollar Tree. So
interesting.
That's
cool. Okay. Once again, we're gonna add our skewer here.
Honestly, this has me thinking about cake toppers. Like imagine a creamy colored cake.
Oh,
like a winter
yes, cake. For Christmas.
Wouldn't that be so pretty?
That would be so pretty with like, so my mom makes a cake. It's a white chocolate cranberry cake, but she takes the cranberries and puts them in like granular sugar so that they look like truly frosted cranberries.
That's perfect.
And then we do mint sprigs in the cake. Like what if you have like a white cake with the frosted cranberries on it and like mint sprigs in the bottom of it and decorate this?
That. Post it on our Facebook group ASAP.
Yes.
That would be so pretty.
This does remind me of like a cake topper for sure.
I know. Like imagine an all cream colored cake, like monochrome. That'd be so pretty.
Yeah. Yes, if you wanted to do this, you could cut other pieces of this tin and do a decorative side on the front and the back. That's completely up to you, but like, for example, let's pull this one in while this dries some more. I mean, it might not look bad from the back if you had another decorative piece. It just looks like really good from this side. You know what I mean?
It does.
I feel like most decorations have a good side. Just like, I don't know, I have a good side. Do you have a good side, Sadie? Like,
Yes.
is it your right?
We
or...
all have our favorite sides.
We all have our favorite sides. Okay, so now that they have dried, what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna bring in my other pieces and we are going to hot glue this to the back. Oh no, I'm gonna have to get some more hot glue. I think I've got some in this drawer over here.
We can't forget about Robin's question about the glow forge.
Oh no, we're not. We are not.
We will get to that, of course.
So the only thing about sandwiching this between the skewer is you're gonna have a little bit of gappage here. So I'm gonna grab another hot glue stick really quick. Let me find one. Here's a bunch of little ones. They'll work, it'll be fine. So what I would do for this specific thing, I would bring in some hot glue here, do it just along the edge and hold it down so that it gets secured. And you may have to do it in small sections. But that's honestly gonna be totally like your opinion if you want that closed up or if you don't. Like, I don't think it's gonna make that big of a difference. But anyway, that's your opinion. Whatever you feel like you need to do, you can do that or you don't have to. So these are still kind of wet. So I'm not even gonna add the back, but you get the point of why we added the back. It hides this, doesn't look terrible. So what we're gonna do now is I'm not even taking our stickers out. Oh, and we were talking about the kiss cut. Make sure that this works. Let me move this out of the way so I don't get paint on literally everything because I feel like I'm already getting paint. Okay. Okay, so it didn't cut all the way through, thank goodness. Number one, love that. And let's see, taking this whole top off, make sure that we got a nice even cut. Beautiful.
Wow, that's perfect.
Love that. Love that. Okay. So what we're gonna do now is we're taking our stickers and I'm just going to place them on our stars like that. Make it look rusted. Beautiful. And then we've got our last one over here. And maybe I'll get it right. Ah! This is the only thing, getting these lined up. So this is where that copper paint probably gonna come in handy if you're not the best at lining those up. So once you've got those lined up, we're just once again gonna hot glue these bad boys to the top of our trees.
Oh my goodness.
Like this.
It's already looking so cute.
I know. I love it. And like this.
She's cute. She's cute.
And then our last one. Love it. So Now we're just going to start the process of assembling. So one thing that I suggest is start with your middle tree, which is going to be your tallest. So let's go to, I think it's probably going to be easiest to go to camera one. So clearly we're going to have to cut off the bottom part of our skewer. So I've just got some wire cutters here, and we're just gonna, it's always best, we can go overhead for this one. It's always best to cut a little at a time, because you can always cut more, but you can never put anything back.
That's so true.
So always cut a little at a time first, and then go back. So going to one, looking at it, personally, I think I'm gonna cut some more off, because I actually think I'm gonna cut some of this off. So let's go back to overhead. I'm gonna cut about right there. Place that back down in there. We're gonna cut quite a bit off of this one. Watch your eyes.
That one flew across the room.
And then to get these on the same height, I'm gonna place them on top of each other like this. And I've got the first one the height I want it, so I want the second one the same height. We're just gonna cut them the same height. And then place them in our foam exactly where we want them. So like this. Now what you're gonna do is you're just gonna come in and start adding in your greenery. So same thing with our wire cutters. We're just gonna start adding things in. And I have a feeling, to be real honest, that I'm not gonna have enough greenery to cover all of this one. But I feel like you all get the picture, like you get the point. So let's add all of our big pieces first, and then we'll come back in and add some smaller pieces. Oh yeah, we're definitely not gonna have enough greenery, but it's okay.
It's gonna be like the Charlie Brown Christmas tree.
One other thing that I have discovered when you are making centerpieces, if you feel like you don't have enough greenery, one thing I love to do is cover the bottom pieces with moss.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. So like, I don't necessarily want to steal greenery from Alicia's, but if I were putting this together, I would obviously have to steal greenery from Alicia's, because this is just kind of looking pretty straggly. So.
He's a little homely, but it's okay.
Anyway, and then you just add in your other little pieces, like other elements that you would want. For example, add in our little berries here.
Little berries.
Little berries. There we go. I was about to say, I can't get these off. Add in some little berries over here. But I mean, you all get the point. Like, clearly this guy needs some work. It needs some greenery down here. We need to spruce it up here. But essentially, this is what you do. And then after you add lots of greenery, it looks like this.
It's so beautiful.
And it's as easy as that. So April says, if you were to paint the backs of the trees, will it make the paper curl? I don't know. Let's try it out. You asked, let's find out. Now, like I said, if you've not been here since the beginning, this one specifically, we'll go overhead, is made of chipboard. That's what I would personally recommend you doing, is making it out of chipboard, because it is sturdy. But then in the same sense, like, this guy's pretty sturdy too, though. But anyway, we'll paint it, see what it looks like, make sure it curls, or make sure it doesn't curl. I guess is the right term. I don't think it's going to, personally. I think it's going to be just fine. But we will test it. You all know I love testing things for you guys. And if you did this, you wouldn't even have to cut anything for the back. Unless, I think one of our friends said if it was like a table centerpiece, then you would, but yeah. I don't think it's curling. What do you think, Sadie?
It looks pretty good. I don't see any curling.
I don't either.
See it raising on the edges or anything.
No. So yeah, you can paint the backs. It's not gonna curl the craft paper. It's gonna be fine. Looks beautiful. You can see here, we'll go overhead.
It looks good.
I'm not seeing any curling. I have some hot glue here that I've painted into that. That's not cute, but
it's a look.
It's a look. I mean, you can, you know. So anyway, yeah, you can paint the back, totally paint the back, and it would be perfectly fine. But once again, it's best to do things in thin layers, because thin layers helps prevent curling and things like that from happening. Do you need a knife blade to cut chipboard? Yes, the heavy chipboard, you do need a knife blade. You can actually cut light chipboard on your Explore Series machine. It says with a fine point blade, it's like the 0.37 millimeter, it's light chipboard. It says you can cut it on your Explore Series machine. We don't have any here, so that's why we used the craft board today. So, yes, I do think it does look really good painted on the back. I think it kind of gives it a more of a finished look.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I do really like that. But does anyone have any questions about what we have done here today? I would love to answer your questions. Once again, if we have friends here that are new to our channel, check us out. Check out our website, makersgonnalearn.com. You can create what we have done today. Using the cut files, you can sign up for $1. Gets you unlimited 7-day access to our website, plus 20 downloads, which brings it to 5 cents a download. Amazing. We love that. Because who here doesn't like a deal? We're crafters. We love a good deal.
And it's cheaper than anything you could get at the Dollar Tree.
Uh-huh.
$1.
Right.
Crazy.
It's cheaper than, because we know the Dollar Tree is not the Dollar Tree anymore. It's the $1.25 tree. It is the $1.25 tree. So yeah, you can join us for $1. You get unlimited 7-day access. And then after that, you all would just revert back to a monthly member, which if you have been on our site for 7 days and you use your Cricut, like, you're probably gonna become a monthly member, because we really put our heart and soul into everything we do here at Makers Gonna Learn, our website, our cut files, everything else. We even had somebody ask, can we submit ideas for things we want you to try out? Yes, we have a Facebook page where we like to go in there, interact with you guys, ask you guys questions. You can suggest things for us to do that we can try to add to our calendar. You can suggest cut files that you want to see in the future. There are so many different things that you can do. And if you sign up for $1, you also get access to our Facebook group. We did change that. Used to, you didn't. You do get access to our Facebook group to see if you even like it in there. We think that you will. We have no, we really think that you will. That's probably one of my favorite parts about our membership is our Facebook group. Just the uplifting and the sharing and all of the love. Like, I feel like the internet can be such a negative space a lot of times, especially social media.
Absolutely.
Y'all, our Makers Gonna Learn Facebook group is so uplifting, so encouraging, such a helpful place to be if you are a crafter, especially a die cutting machine crafter. You don't even have to have a Cricut. It's all die cutting machines, silhouettes, Brothers Scan and Cuts, all of that good stuff. So you do get access to that. We did have someone, Tori also asked us, does a knife blade have a different housing? Yes. So the knife blade has a very specific, you have to use it in either a Maker or a Maker 3. You cannot use it in an Explorer Series machine because of the specific housing that you have to use. Christine says very supportive. Yes. And you know what I just now remembered? I was going to show you guys how to create your own custom settings. Yes. And I told you all that I would do that, and I like to stay true to my word.
And the Glowforge question.
And the Glowforge question. Let's talk about the Glowforge question too. Thank you, Sadie. So remind me what the question was again. It was something about the new Glowforge Aura. I know that. Aura, however you say it. I don't know. My country accent. I can't help it.
Aura.
I know.
I'll try to go back and
Was
look
it Robin that
see.
asked?
It was Robin, I believe.
Okay.
I'll go back and look.
Okay, perfect.
If you maybe want to talk about the cut settings.
Okay, let's talk about the cut settings while we find the question about the Glowforge, because I don't want to miss Robin's question. So, are we on our share screen? Mm-hmm. Beautiful. So there are now a couple different places that you can do your custom settings. You can actually do it from once you go to make it, you can do it over there. Or did you know you can do it from your actual settings? So if you all have noticed, Design Space looks a lot different than it used to. We have tabs up here. We don't have our little hamburger menu here. So going over here, we are now going to find our settings here underneath where our name is. So drop down arrow, settings here. Also, did you guys know this is where you're gonna find calibration now? Y'all, it took me 20 minutes one day to find calibration. I'm gonna write this question down super fast because I wanna go back and see what people are saying. So let me write this question down. Glowforge compared to a Maker. Okay. Glowforge to Maker. Beautiful. Okay. So this is where you're gonna find calibration. You select your device, whatever. This is also where you're going to find your one of the new places you can add a custom material setting. You're gonna go here, you're gonna go to start, you're gonna select the device that you want. So because our Explorer 3 is connected USB, you can switch machines from here. You can look at all of the settings, material settings here. When I'm creating a new material setting, I love to look at the cut pressure of what other things are cut on and then make my setting from there. So we said that printable, that our sticker paper was cutting all the way through. So let's find, that's premium. Printable sticker paper, white, gray liner. Remember I said yesterday that it was cutting at a pressure of 230? Y'all, that's insane because 230. Glitter iron-on cuts at 177. That's cutting at such a high pressure. Glitter cardstock cuts at 270, which is a very thick material with 2 passes. So I feel like 230 pressure for printable sticker paper is a lot, but maybe that's just me. I don't know. Anyway, it shows here that the printable sticker paper white with green liner is at a pressure setting of 105. I think that's a pretty good setting right there. But to create your own settings, you can go to add new material, name your material, sticker paper. We save it, it brings it up here. Then we can toggle with our pressure settings here. So if we wanted it, we said the other one was 105. If you think that your material would cut better at like 95 or whatever, you can put it there. You can do multiple passes and you can choose what blade you cut with. automatically, okay? So if you wanted to do low pressure, 2 passes, boom. And then you would hit save. So you can name it the brand of the sticker paper, and yes, in case you use different ones, you can always go back and edit. So let's say we wanted to name this Zakoto. We can do that, save it, and it takes it all the way down here. And now we have the settings for our Zakoto sticker paper. Love that. Just in case you didn't know how to do that, that is how you add your new materials. Like I said, you can do it from settings, or if you go to make it, once you go all the way through, let's say we're here, we're connected to our machine, you can go to browse all material, come down here to material settings, and then scroll all the way to the bottom and add new from there as well. So there's 2 places that you can add new material setting. Now, back to our question about Glowforge versus Maker. So in my opinion, I just feel like you are looking at, besides the way it cuts and the price points, the difference between the Glowforge generally and the Maker. So first of all, the Glowforge is a laser. It's a diode laser. Now, have I worked with the Glowforge Aura before? No, I have not. We don't have that. But we do have an X Tools M1 laser. You can cut, you for sure can cut vinyl with it. Because that one, but the biggest difference is the M1, the X Tools, has a housing where you put an actual blade in there and it doesn't use the laser to cut vinyl. So it really just depends on what you plan on doing. If you are wanting to get into the laser world, personally, I don't think the Glowforge Aura is the way to go. I think the price point on it is way too high because it's a 5, and I'm not gonna say it's way too high, but you have to look at the specs of the machine. The specs of the machine, it's a 5-watt diode laser. You can get a 10-watt X Tools a lot cheaper. The bed clearance on the Glowforge is literally, it's about that big. Like, it's very small. I can't remember the exact inches. I want to say it's like 5 inches. Whereas the clearance on the X Tools is like 10 or so. Plus the bottom of it comes out and you can put it on riser beds and even do cups and stuff. So that's just my personal opinion with the Glowforge Aura. But it's hard to compare that to a Maker because they're completely different machines. Like, they work different, they do different things. The biggest thing with the Glowforge is, like I said, you do have a laser, so you have the ability to engrave. You can do that. There are workarounds for a Maker. The machine itself does not engrave, but for example, you can do wood burning. You would just create a stencil with your machine, Maker or Explorer really, and then you can either use torch paste or there's scorch marker and a heat gun, and it gives you the engraved look. Is it as professional as the Glowforge? Probably not, but it still looks very nice. Still looks very, very nice. Yes, if you are talking about acrylics, if you're wanting to dive in and work with acrylics, then a laser might be the way to go. Just know that with a diode laser, you can't cut clear acrylic. That is a big thing that it does not do. So that's another thing. A Glowforge, a laser does cut thicker wood. When you are looking at your Maker, the thickest wood you can cut is gonna be basswood, which is pretty thin. So you have to sit down and think about what you plan on making. I would do a lot of research before, but I don't wanna say you need to go this way or you need to go this way because I don't know your situation. I don't know what you plan on making. Is it a hobbyist? Are you a hobbyist? Are you wanting to start selling stuff? There's so many things, so many factors that go into choosing which machine is best for you. But if you want to really dive into all the things you can do with a Maker, we have so many videos on our channel. We do try to keep things pretty even when it comes to things that you can, because we have a lot of people on our channel that love the Explore Series machine, that have the Explore Series machine, and there are things that people who have a maker can do that an Explore can't. You can engrave on acrylic with an Explore, or with a, take that back. You can engrave on acrylic with a maker. It is possible with the engraving tip. You can engrave on metals, on like little thin pieces of metal with your maker. It's doable, okay? So that's just my opinion. You really have to do a deep dive and figure out yourself what you want to create. How do you like the X tools better than the Glowforge Aura? Honestly, April, I don't have a Glowforge Aura. We don't have one. We do not plan on buying one. We have the large Glowforge that we've had for a few years. I like it. We don't use it a ton. I use it sometimes to cut out names for like big nursery signs and things like that. Me and Alicia will use it sometimes. But as far as like a laser for a hobbyist, if you are just wanting to get into the laser community, the laser world, and you're just kind of wanting to get your feet wet at first, just at price point alone, the X-Tools M1 is cheaper, has a better price. I was in there when we got the M1. I did get to do like a little bit of a deep dive into their software. Their software is a work in progress. It was not super hard for me to work. I didn't have any issues. I know they are constantly making things better in their software. I've not been in there in a month or so. I've not had an opportunity. We have been so busy here in our office. So I don't know if it has updated since the last time I used it, but the last time I used it, it was fine. It worked great for what I wanted. I loved the clearance, how much room I had to work with the M1. That's a big factor for me, is just the clearance. It stands about this tall, where the Glowforge Aura is very, very thin. And like I said, you have about 5 or 6 inches or so of clearance that you can work with. Another big thing is, like I said, the M1 has the blade attachment, so you can, and it has mats that you put down, so you can actually cut cardstock and vinyl and HTV and all of those other things with the X-Tools. Would I if I have a Cricut? Absolutely not. The Cricut cuts so much better when it comes to those materials, but it's doable with the X-Tools. And then you also have to look at the wattage of your diode laser. The Glowforge it may not be a 5 watt, it may be a 6 watt. I may be wrong in calling it a 5 watt. I do think it is a 6 watt laser, but you think that 4 wattages between like the 6 to the 10, you think that wouldn't make that big of a difference, but it really does, especially for that lower price point. So Robin said, curious why the Glowforge is higher price when others do the same for less. It's a name brand. You are paying for a name brand. That is it. Literally, it's just like Old Navy and Gap. They're made by the same company, but Old Navy is cheaper than Gap because of the brand. That is all it is. It's a name brand. It's like a name brand laser. When really and truly, I'm in a couple different communities, laser communities on Facebook. There are not a lot of people in those communities that like Glowforge. Okay. Susan, we were answering Robin's questions about lasers. This is just the end of the show. She asked. I told her I would answer. So I feel like that's enough talking today. If you have any more questions, always email us hi@makersgonnalearn.com. We would love to answer your questions. We are having our member-only masterclass tomorrow. So if you want to join us, you are not part of our membership, make sure to join us for $1 deal, gets you unlimited access 7 days. You can also join us tomorrow on our Zoom member-only masterclass. We're going to be teaching you how to make custom stamps using your Cricut tomorrow. So love that. As always, we will catch you back here next week. Hope you've had a great time crafting with us, and we will see you guys